It's 92.6 FM Radio Verulam. All this week we've been speaking about things that have been making Britain great because of the Olympics. And I was thinking, surely the Great British Fry-Up has got to be one of these things. And I thought, who better to speak to than Dave Fry himself? Dave, are you there on the phone?
I am, yes. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Lovely to speak to you. Now, the reason we got you on the phone, Dave, is that you are the person behind the website ifancyafryup.co.uk. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
So why did you come up with this? Why did you come up with this whole idea of this website?
It was about 3 years ago. I was on a stag do. I woke up a little bit late, so I missed breakfast at the hotel. Went out into the streets to look for a decent cafe or decent proper greasy spoon, but just couldn't find one. I got directed to 2 cafes that were closed and a couple of coffee shops, which coffee shops aren't the same. And I thought there must be an easier way, and that's kind of how it evolved.
Do you have training in a sort of background in media as well, or was it just a spare of the moment thing? Right, I've got to go about doing this.
It was just a spur of the moment thing, and the technical know-how was done by my brother-in-law because I'm not really that technical.
And how long ago was this?
It's about 3 years ago. And
it's grown quite considerably, isn't it? Because how many cafes do you have registered on the site at the moment? Approximately.
The last count is about 440. I think I should have checked before.
That's right, about 440, and they're all over the UK, are they, or are they further afield?
They're all over the UK, and there's a couple in Belgium, because I did find one when I was travelling through there once, so there's a couple there.
Excellent. So, what's the whole... So, if anyone's looking for a cafe, this should really be the ideal place to... So, if you're looking for a cafe to celebrate a great British breakfast, this should be the ideal place to come and start off your search, shouldn't it, really?
Yeah, no, that's what it was there for. So you can look there at any time and see what's open at the time you're looking.
Now, when you're having breakfast, then what do you like for breakfast? What makes up a good English or British breakfast? As we're talking about Britain, what makes up a good British breakfast for you?
For me, it's got to have bacon, of course, a fried egg, runny on toast, a few bits of tomato, a bit of mushrooms. But I do like hash browns, and a lot of people who are a bit of connoisseurs of fry-ups don't like their hash browns, but I do.
Yeah, they say there's too much of American influence in that, is there?
Yes. They say you shouldn't have any potato on the plate at all.
Oh, really? No potato? Because I've seen people with chips as well, and so this is really sacrilegious to have chips.
Yeah, I've always seen chips as a lunchtime thing, so they shouldn't be on a fried breakfast.
What about, Dave? What about Bubble and Squeak? Because that has potato in it.
That's allowed.
Oh,
just because I like it.
Yeah, and also it's a British thing as well, isn't it? It comes really from Britain. So the ultimate fry-up, and I've got to take you up on tomatoes here. Are you talking? Because they always ask you, don't they? Tinned or fresh?
I prefer tinned tomatoes.
And me too. With that, so we've got that in common. But I must ask this one thing. Could a fry-up or the Great British Breakfast, could it ever be seen as being healthy? Does it always have to be, like, covered in grease?
I think you can have healthier options, but the more healthier it gets, I think the less it becomes a full English breakfast, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's true. And what do you drink with it? What do you drink with it, Dave?
Tea, of course.
It's got to be tea. So none of this. I've seen. I don't know about you, but I've seen people in cafes and. They've got like energy drinks now and cans of Coke. It needs to be a tea, doesn't it?
It's got to be a tea, white with sugar.
Yeah, well, white with sugar. Yeah, exactly. Now the website's growing, or it's sort of developing. You've got an app as well coming out. Is this correct?
Yes. I found somebody on the interweb who's actually he's building it for me gradually because I don't know what to do with an app. So the idea is it's on your iPhone or your Android phone. And you can just click on it because it obviously pinpoints where you are, and it should come up with all the cafes around you. It's hopefully by the end of August it should be live. Hopefully.
Really, and so people can get this if they go onto like Android store, the Android marketplace, or different things like that. That should be there, should it?
It should be. Yeah, I think the Android one might be closer to September, end of, but the iPhone one in the iTunes store should be available. Yeah, hopefully by the end of August.
And Dave, is it being called I Fancy a Fry-Up as well?
Yes, it is.
So it's along the same formula. Now, as well as on the webpage, you've got a blog, because this isn't just like giving out information. It's sort of like you've created a kind of community as well, haven't you? Really?
Well, I've got a Facebook page and a blog, and I've just sort of started putting random stuff on there. Some of it breakfast related. There's one post that's a discussion about margarine or butter, of course, but people like to discuss these things, and just some random thoughts on there.
I love this because the reason I came about this was right here in St Albans on Bank Holiday Monday. I think the Bank Holiday just after Easter. We were looking to. My wife suggested it, which is this is good. She said we should take the children out for a fry up because it's Bank Holiday. And I thought, there's a reason why I married you here. I thought it's coming true. Anyway, we looked around and we sort of went out for a drive and we couldn't find. I went out for a drive, a little bit of a recce. Couldn't find anything open at all, and then just came home, did a search on the internet, found your website, and then found. I can give them a little plug. Mulberry's Cafe. In London Road here in St Albans, and we went down there. We had a fantastic breakfast. They were great to the kids. But you've also covered. I'm trying to think now, top of my head. I should have had this open in the studio. The Fleetville Cafe in Hatfield Road as well gets lots of mentions on your website as well. I don't know if you're familiar with that one, are you?
Fleetville Cafe was. If you look at the website, it's like a pinboard effect.
Right.
I got that idea from Fleetville Cafe.
Really? So so they've got a lot to answer for with all this in mind, and inside there it really has sort of like a bit of an old-fashioned feel inside there as well, doesn't it?
It's Fleetville Cafe is what I would call a proper greasy spoon. They're not as greasy as they used to be, but you can still get. I don't know the best way to describe it. There's no two bits of furniture the same, and it's got a family feel when you go in there.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds good. And now that means I can't mention any names. Got to be careful how I put this. If anyone is down the Hatfield Road and you dare to wander into any supposed large supermarkets and go and have your breakfast in their cafe, that's totally wrong. You need to be wandering into the Fleetville Cafe and other cafes around. So what do you think?
Definitely.
Yeah, what do you think, Dave? Then about you mentioned a little bit earlier the sort of the coffee shops have tried to sort of crash the market with this, and they're very popular, but they don't do it the same, do they?
No, whenever I've been in one, I think if they did a proper bacon sandwich, I'd be happy with that, but they don't. It's sort of paninis and stuff like that, and if it's not got bacon in, it's not right, is it?
No, exactly. So we're just running through this again before we let you go. It's got to be bacon. It's got to be an egg, a fried egg that's runny. It's got to be butter on your toast. It's got to be tomatoes. What about a sausage as well? I can't believe we've forgotten about the sausage here.
Yeah, no, sorry, I missed that. If you can get a proper butcher's sausage, even better.
Right, and black pudding, is that an essential?
Black pudding, not essential for me. I do it, but it's not essential for me.
Right, and if people go onto the website and they search a cafe, then these options actually come up, don't they? Of where people have reviewed it, you can say whether or not they've done chips, whether or not they've done tomatoes. So they have you have sort of categories on there. Is that correct?
I've put that on there. Yes, I think you can't get a feel, can't you? If it lists that they do chips and black pudding, you know that you're going into what I'd call a proper cafe.
Right, fantastic. So there we go. We're talking about things that are great and things that are British, celebrating this fantastic week we've had with the Olympics and everything like that. And the fry-up is definitely something that should be in there. And once again, it's ifancyafryup.co.uk. And the app as well has got the same name. Is that correct? That's correct, isn't it, Dave?
Yes, it is.
And what about the blog? If people want to get in touch with you, people want to get onto the blog, can they do that via going through the website?
Yep, through the website. It's on the blog. There's a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ifancyafryup. Or just email me, Dave at ifancyafryup.
Marvellous stuff. Dave, thank you very much for your time. And we've got to make sure that the English fry-up doesn't get swept under the carpet by the healthy addicts here. Anyway, thanks very much. Take care.
Brilliant. Cheers, Johnny. Thanks.